appears he has proven himself right.
I've been doing my best to stay away from social media to not get the results of this because there's 3 simultaneous cards going on right now. This right here, Top Rank on ESPN Plus, where I feel Rob Brant is going to be the new WBA World Champion, upsetting Royota Murata, and the plans of Gennady Gennadievich Golovkin. His promoter Tom Loeffler is in attendance. Over on the Zone, there's 2 separate cards: the World Boxing Super Series with Manny Rodriguez versus Jason Maloney. Then you have Andre versus Katandakwa with Katie Taylor versus Cindy Serrano. He just outworked Murata. Murata's too one-dimensional. He brought nothing to the table outside of being a pressure fighter coming straight forward. That was it. He literally brought nothing to the table. He just was walking Rob Brant down. And Rob Brant did what he was supposed to do in camp in regards to conditioning and making sure that he was able to go 12 rounds and withstand the pressure of Murata. But Murata, listen, I've covered Murata in the past. I haven't seen anything that I can say is his face, is like superb from him. However, like a lot of Japanese fighters, he brings in, a lot of Asian fighters for the most part, especially in this day and age. They bring in a lot of viewership in their homeland. So over here, even though this is taking place in a small venue in Vegas,
judges Eric Cheek and Bert Clements both scored about 119 to 109. All 3 in favor of the winner. And the new WBA middleweight champion of the world.
119, 109? No.
Bravo.
No.
Brant.
But nonetheless, Murata is the top-ranked fighter, so people would say it was Bob Behrman that was, if it was a robbery or bad cards.
Dreams do come true.
Look at Shannon Briggs and Gerald Big Baby Miller. He fought his last fight in the world. It was his last fight, right? In the World Boxing Super Series tournament.
Rob Brant here has
I covered him versus Jürgen Brand. Was it the last
now?
one?
They can't believe it.
No,
I
he
don't
had
think
one
Brant
after
right
that.
now can believe it right now. But he worked extremely hard for this victory tonight. And he put on a heck of display of boxing.
Let's listen to the post-fight interview. Now it's going to be interesting to see where he goes from here, because who is he with?
A night like this and a fighter like Brant is the capacity to surprise you.
With in regards to promotion.
We will hear from the new champion, Rob Brant, when we return.
He was,
You got it.
It's not that he did anything like super special. He just outworked Murata, And looking at now, I got to change this, by the way. Demetrius Andrade is now the WBO champion. Canelo, WBC, WBA, Super World. Now Rob Brant, we're going to get rid of him. He's the WBA World Champion. Jermall Charlo, WBC Interim Champion. If I'm correct, is Rob Brant still an Al Heyman fighter? To some extent? I don't know if I read somewhere that Rob Brant was an Al Heyman fighter. Al Heyman does have fighters that float around. Next week, you're going to have Danny Jacobs versus Sergey Derevianchenko for the vacant IBF title that Golovkin was stripped of on HBO October the 27th. I forgot I can fast forward this. Let's go to the post-fight interview. The right man won. Let's look at the punch stats.
Geniuses, they know how.
A night that began with the champion smiling ends with the champion smiling as Rob Brant scores the upset in the biggest night of his life to become the WBA middleweight champion, beating Royota Murata. Numbers, the degree to which we have never seen. 1,262 punches thrown by Rob Brant.
Look at that.
He said nobody had been able to get to Murata. The answer was volume for Brant. He was phenomenal from start to finish. And the new champion is standing by with Bernardo.
All right, Rob, you said this was your Super Bowl, and you stepped up your game. What did it mean to you? What did it feel like when you heard the words, and new champion?
It took a while for it to sink in. Like you said, and the new, and you imagine it so much that when you actually hear it in reality, you have to kind of fact check yourself a little bit and think back like, oh yeah, I did win that fight, but it was, like I said, it's one of the best moments of my life.
You threw 1,262 punches tonight. You landed close to 400. You knew that the work rate was going to be important, but did you know you threw that much tonight?
I actually had no idea. You couldn't have told me. I mean, I wouldn't have believed it, if there wasn't actually like an actual official count. I just was in there fighting. When you're in there fighting, I wasn't thinking about punch output. I was just thinking about winning the whole time. And I guess, that's kind of the key to it, is keep letting those hands go, and the victories will come.
When you look at how this fight played out, he was smiling throughout the first few rounds when you were in control. How did you not allow that to discourage you?
Usually when they smile and they shake their head yes, it means you're doing something to them. If I was missing and stuff like that, he wouldn't be grinning that way. I knew that once his eyes started to swell up, he started getting marks on his face, but he's still smiling while he's got blood running in his white mouthpiece. I'm like, yeah, you're smiling because you know it hurts. And I was feeling like it was gassing me up more than it was discouraging me.
All right, so you said that for you, you had one name on your mind when you stepped into this ring. It was Royota Murata. He was thinking Triple G. He was thinking Canelo. Now you have a strap, so you get to think about who's next. Who do you want?
Honestly, it's been so much I've dedicated toward Murata himself, and I think that's going to be kind of my key to winning going forward is not to always. I got a great team behind me. I got a great group of people that will tell me what's next. But like I said, once they give me an assignment, that's what my life is for the next few months. And I want to continue to have this result every time I hop in the ring because I want no impression that it gets easier from this point. This is the starting point from the tops of the division, so it only gets harder every fight from this point up. So I'm going to be prepared for that, so I'm ready to get right back in the gym. All
right, congratulations. I know it's just been you and Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Your family came all the way out here from Minnesota. Go enjoy them. Sean, we send it back to you.
All right, Bernardo, it's extraordinary stuff there.
Interview Murata?
And it's funny because when we started the
I'm wondering now. David Lemieux is supposed to be Canelo's mandatory. Obviously, Canelo's fighting Rocky Felding. They were in talks for it to be Golovkin versus Murata in Japan for a big payday. But I'm wondering would Golovkin be interested in fighting Rob Brant to get that belt, or like the dynamic has changed now, like a lot. So, wait, let me see what she's, he's getting interviewed by Christina Poncher. So it's confusing. Maybe because it's late and I've been covering boxing all day. I did a 3.5 hour fight night stream earlier with you guys. Then I started covering the Anthony Yard card, and then it's motherfucking 2 o'clock in the morning. I've been here, I did take a break to go take a shower at like 7 p.m. But I've been at this PC all day, like all week. We're going to talk about this more in detail on Monday because looking at the 160-pound division, Rob Brant is not necessarily a profitable option. And he's not necessarily high risk, low reward either because I think Golovkin obviously can beat him. But here is the next ESPN. They've been really pumping out a lot of motherfucking fights. Burcho versus Roman. Going to be covering that. We'll see. Maybe Rob. I'm trying to look. I know what people probably say is Jermall Charlo should fight Rob Brant, but Rob Brant's title you can't unify with because it's an underling title. So for him to unify, he would have to drop that belt. And he's not Canelo's mandatory. David Lemieux is. Weird situation. It's weird. They should have made the winner of Murata Brant that man. It's a WBA, man. The motherfuckers. They're motherfuckers. Yo. For real. Anyway, I'm going to be at Jacobs versus Derevianchenko next week. Once that fight is over, now that Andrade is the WBO champion, we should get a better understanding of the 160-pound division. Also, I'm interested in what Tom Loeffler, who was there at the fight, the promoter of Golovkin. There was rumors and talks that Golovkin was going to be there, but he wasn't. I'm interested in hearing what he has to say about it, and if they would pursue a fight with Rob Brant. And who is Rob Brant's promoter and advisor or manager? Is his advisor Al Heyman? I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy. Or if it was Al Heyman, is it still Al Heyman now? I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe because I can see a motherfucking Rob Brant versus a Willie Monroe. No bullshit. Whatever. Or a Lara or something. If Lara moves to 160. Whatever, though. Please subscribe.